Good day, everyone. Today we are going to be looking at delivery, which is chapter 12 in your book, if you're wanting to look more deeply at this topic. So, the power of delivery. For a public speaker, delivery is everything beyond your topic. How you deliver your topic is going to decide whether or not the audience is going to listen to you, and it will decide whether or not the audience will not just listen to you, but remember what you say and potentially walk away with new information or new actions to take. So, the first thing is your delivery. It's the integration of nonverbal communication, which is like your body language, how you look at the audience, your facial expressions, with the content of your speech, which is your topic, how you support your topic. The goal of delivery should be a conversational, presentational style that preserves directness and spontaneity. So you want to be upfront, authentic, honest with your audience, and also a little spontaneous. If some new ideas occur to you while you're talking, that makes it more conversational for people. Your attitude. The attitude you have needs to express and communicate authenticity. Be yourself, communicate as who you are. Don't try to put on a different kind of character than other than who you are, because then that comes across as inauthentic. And then you also want your delivery to be engaging. So you want to have a sense of immediacy. So in the moment, they feel the emotions of what you're talking about, or your topic is very timely. And your audience, you want them to feel close to you so that they'll listen to you even more and take away what you say. So there are some methods of delivery. So you have the impromptu delivery, which is speaking at the spur of the moment. You have very little time to prepare, and it usually happens at an unpredictable moment. The speeches you give for this class will not be impromptu speeches. Then you have extemporaneous speeches. These are when a speaker doesn't use notes at all. They might know they have a speech, but they don't actually use notes. And they just kind of talk knowing what their topic is, and their speech isn't memorized. So they have it kind of organized in their mind what they want to say, but they don't have anything in writing. So, and then manuscript. So, manuscript is a speech that is read from a prepared text. In this class, you will be doing a mix of extemporaneous and manuscript, which I'll explain later. And then you have the memorized speech, which is like you basically memorize your speech word for word. I don't discourage this, but I also don't expect your speeches to be memorized. I will say that people who memorize their speeches or know their speeches well do a much better job with having to showing confidence and moving from point to point with ease. You will be doing a mixture of extemporaneous, which is when you're kind of talking without necessarily using notes, and using notes, which is manuscript. You will be preparing what is called a formal outline, and it's just a skeleton of of the ideas you want to talk about, but you don't have everything written out like in paragraphs, like an essay. So you have the ability to look down and see, okay, what's my next thing I'm going to talk about? But you're actually speaking without just kind of looking and reading notes, your speech the whole time. So now we're going to go into speaking skills, or the types of ways you want to really enhance your delivery. So you don't want to talk too fast. That means when you talk too fast, your words slur, you're hard to understand, and it gives an impression of not being prepared. But then you also don't want to talk too slow, because then people become bored. You end up using lots of filler words like, kinda. And then this also gives the impression of not being prepared. Now, just right is you have a conversational pace, smooth and easy flowing, and it gives the impression of confidence and preparedness. Next is speaking tone. I'm going to have these videos available for you guys to watch in Blackboard. So the top video kind of talks about is a good example of having a monotone. It lacks emotion, it lacks variation. It gives an impression of you actually being bored with your topic, and it creates boredom in everyone else as well. And you don't seem interested in your topic. And this is really hard to keep people's attention when you speak in a monotone voice. But a tonal variation, it includes emotion. You have high and low tones and pitches. You go from soft to loud. You might talk a little bit faster and a little bit slower, and keeps your listeners engaged and interested. So these two videos will be available on Blackboard for you to see examples.
In 1930,
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel.
Okay, and then we're looking at posture. So ineffective posture is holding onto the podium, moving from foot to foot, rocking back and forth, playing with your hair or clothing, pacing back and forth without intention, and can either be boring or really distracting to listeners. Effective posture, you change your speaking position with intention or you stand still. You use your hands to emphasize points, and listeners are engaged and interested. Now, moving on to projection. This is where you speak loudly enough that people can hear you. So, speaking quality. Listeners will not hear when you speak quietly, sorry. Listeners won't hear what you say. If people have to strain to hear you, they will eventually just stop listening if they have to listen too hard. And then you come across as not being prepared or lacking confidence. Now, when you project your voice, that's when you speak loud enough for folks to hear you. It keeps your audience engaged. When you want to project your voice, you need to talk to the back of the room. So, not the people who are in front of you, but the people way at the back of the room. And since you guys will be probably talking from rooms in your house, project your voice behind your audience. So if you have your audience sitting in on the couch, project your voice to go behind the couch, beyond the couch, and that will help you to project your voice. You want to speak from your diaphragm, and this gives you just gives the impression, sorry, of having confidence. Once again, this video will be available in Blackboard for you to see examples of what it means to speak with projection. It's going to automatically play. I apologize.
Hey guys.
And then lastly, practicing for your presentation. This, if of anything I've talked about, is the best way to be prepared to give your speech, and that is to practice. So you want to start by developing your presentation sufficiently in advance of the schedule so that you have the opportunity to refine and grow comfortable with your message. So heed the maxim that if it takes an hour of preparation for each minute of presentation time, so your speeches will start, the first speech will be for 3 minutes, the second speech for 5 minutes, and your final speech for 6 minutes. So if you were to do that, your first speech, 3 hours of preparation, of practicing. Your second speech, 5 hours of preparation and practice. For your third speech, 6 hours of preparation and practice. Okay. So, some ways you can do that is by reading aloud or speaking the speech. This provides several benefits. It will enhance your memory. So, you won't have to be trying to figure out what to say when the day you give your speech. It'll give you a more accurate estimation of time. This is really important because you will lose points if you speak way under time or way over time. And this will also enable you to make adjustments to enhance the orality of your speech. So projecting your voice, changing your tone, having good posture, your speaking pace. And then once you begin to feel like you know your speech, you can break it down into key outlines. Well, we're going to do that actually beforehand. So you'll use your outlines to help you. And I'll be giving a lecture on that on a different, that's a different lecture for you. You want to force yourself to use keywords during practice so that you can do it during your actual presentation. And ask people to listen so you can practice with them before you give your speech. So that is all for chapter 12, which is around delivery and how to be effective at delivering your speeches.